Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. This is Amit, your friend, and we'll be coming up with a very detailed review very soon. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, if you want to ask us anything about the Jeep Compass TrailHawk, feel free to ask us. And we'll start off by showing you the car from the outside. This is how it looks, and we have two colors here. This is the white, and that one is the red. In the middle, you have two gray shades, one light, one dark, and then you have a black. So you have all these color options, 5 in total, and you have this contrasting black roof, and it looks pretty nice. It looks very different from your regular Compass. So let me just start off by showing you what all the differences are, and let's start from the front. And you see this decal here. This is there on all the Compass TrailHawks, and this is not there just for show. This essentially is to cut reflection when the car is going upwards and the sun is falling, the rays are falling directly on the bonnet, so the reflection is cut, doesn't glint your eyes. So this is what this decal is for. A few very interesting bits that I wanted to show you. See this grille? You don't have chrome here. For the TrailHawk you have this dark grey insert, but the most important thing, you don't have any holes here. See, it's been blocked. So when you're wading through water fording, the water is not going to enter through this area. There are some open areas, but the blockages will clear the airbox. See, it's blocked here, but it's open here, which means the area where the airbox is, the water is not going to enter there. So that is one big measure that Jeep has taken to make sure that while you are water fording, water doesn't enter. And you see this front bumper, the lower portion specifically, it's been restyled, and not just restyled inside the cooling lines, the radiator, a lot of bits have been rearranged. It's been properly redesigned to make sure that the approach angle is now more aggressive. So if you look closely from here, it's over, if you look at the approach angle, it's significantly better than the stock Jeep Compass, so you can approach the obstacles with a lot more confidence now. And this part is also different. They call this the postman's slit or slot, and this is called so because they had right-hand drive Jeeps in the olden times where they used to deliver post in those Jeeps. So that's one little detail that I got to know yesterday. These fog lamps also double up as cornering lights, so when you turn the steering wheel, they light up in the direction where you're going. These are the headlamps. The ORVMs here are dark grey, and of course this is trail rated, which means that this is a proper off-road product. Trail rated is a badge given by Jeep to the ultimate off-roading vehicle for that specific model, and this is like top of the line trail rated Jeep Compass. So there are a lot of parameters which all these cars are rated for, and it includes a lot of things, and some of them are for example the grip or traction. So for grip, what is very important is obviously the tires. So tires on these cars are very strong, and they don't choose any tires. The tires have very strong sidewalls, they have protection inside, they have Kevlar, and all this is to ensure that while you're off-roading, your tires don't get punctured or the sidewalls are not very easily damaged. So that is one part, but apart from that, the grip from these tires off the road is also very good. But that's not just it. There is a low ratio gearbox here. Obviously you have a 4x4, and with the low ratio engaged, the crawl ratio here is 20:1, which means that a lot of force can be applied on the wheels, and even at low RPM this car would be able to climb up on surfaces which are steep, maybe a rock. Also this car gets a new mode, it's called the rock mode, and it was not there before, and it's there on this specific model. So all of those things improve the traction part. The second important parameter for being trail rated is the ground clearance, and the ground clearance now is 205 mm, and it's been increased by 30 mm, so it's now 205 mm. Apart from that, maneuverability is another important aspect, and in that sense, the turning radius of this car, despite being so big, is only 5.7 meters. So that's another important thing. And apart from that, a very important aspect is water fording. So for that, all the sensitive parts which are under the body are sealed completely. They're sealed and they'll not allow any water to go inside. So you can take this car to water as deep as 480 mm, which is almost half a meter. So pretty deep. It's almost like this deep, and the doors are all very strongly sealed. So even if the car is parked in water, the water is not going to go inside. Then you have the approach and the departure angles and the brake over angle. All of these things are optimized. The bumper at the rear also has now been modified so that when you are going off a mound, the departure angle is very good, and the overhangs up front and the rear are not going to be an obstruction. In terms of differentiation, if you see, the Jeep badging here is now in grey. You have this TrailHawk badging, the camera, the 4x4 badging in grey, and this very interesting bit here. This is the ruby red tow hook, and this is a very strong hook, at least 3 to 4 times stronger than the normal tow eye. So you can really like pull a very heavy vehicle with the strength that this one has, and that's something that's special for this car. You have rear parking sensors as well, and this panoramic sunroof. Just check panoramic sunroof out. Huge. Trail rated. Looks really good. These wheels are the same as the limited plus edition, and these tires are 225 section. Okay, Tanishq, Huda, ask your questions if you have any questions. I was thinking I'll just let you know everything about the car first, and then we can, probably get into the question and answer session. But if you guys want me to answer any questions, you can ask anyway. This car is logged. Alright, so let's get inside. And the new inclusion here is this gearbox. Now Jeep Compass has a 9-speed automatic gearbox, so that's a great inclusion. And it has a manual mode as well, but it doesn't have a sport mode. Plus this Uconnect 8.4-inch screen is much better than the standard Compass. Very good. It's got a dedicated navigation system as well, and this MID here is also new, so you can browse through a lot of settings. Check this out. It's really cool, and it's very information rich and very high resolution. Price Parth Bhattaya. Price is not announced yet. It will be announced by the end of this month. You get cruise control now. Cruise control is here, and you get this extra rock mode which was not there before. You get this 4-wheel drive low button. You get hill descent control, 4-wheel drive lock. You have a USB aux in 12-volt socket, 2-zone automatic AC, and the AC, the good thing is that can be controlled via the touch buttons here. So you can either use these buttons, touch buttons, or the hard buttons here. Quality is amazing here. Amazing quality. And this is the panoramic sunroof, by the way. Let's open this. Woo. Single piece. Looks beautiful. But you don't have auto dimming mirrors. So you'll basically have to use this button here for manual day-night function. New MID, gearbox, and if you look at the seats, you have this TrailHawk badging, contrasting ruby red stitching, looks very nice and sporty. The interior of this car is really beautiful. You also have these ruby red highlights in a lot of places, so you know that also adds to the sporty character of the car. You have the same highlight here on the instrument binnacle. Here is a glove box, but you don't have a chilling or cooling function here. Vanity mirrors, but no illumination. 6 airbags. You get as many as 6 airbags. You get traction control, ABS, and you also get rollover mitigation system, which means that if the car is losing control and if the gyroscope inside the car figures that the car is about to topple, it's going to figure in, and it's going to apply brakes, use traction control to make sure that the car doesn't topple over. So that's another great thing. You have these little buttons here, which probably are not visible to a lot of people. These are not paddle shifters, but you can change stations using these buttons here. And on the other side, same buttons can be used to increase or decrease the volume. The front windows are auto up and down, but the rear windows are only auto down. If you have any questions, अगर आपके कोई भी सवाल हैं हमसे पूछिए. इस गाड़ी को जितना चलाना चाहिए सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर करने के लिए उतना हम चला चुके हैं. If you have any questions whatsoever about the Jeep Compass TrailHawk, shoot away now. And I've shown you the car, but if you want to ask anything, please ask away. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. Extremely capable of the road. Yesterday we drove it on a trail which was 3 hours long. Extreme trail which was made as challenging as possible in these conditions by Jeep India, and this car was absolutely phenomenal. So if you are an off-road junkie for this kind of price, a car that can do phenomenally well on the road and off it, I think there is no match. And you really have to experience the off-roading capabilities of this car to understand how good this is. It's really amazing. It's trail rated, and that badge really means a lot. People who are into off-roading would vouch for the fact that that trail rated badge really stands for something. The engine here is now BS6, by the way, and let me just show you a very interesting bit. It has a urea compartment, and basically what happens is while you're filling up, hold on for a sec. So you now have this AdBlue or urea compartment. So I'll tell you what happens. This engine is now BS6 compliant. So what happens is for BS6 compliance, the rules are very stringent. So for particulate matter, now what is happening is, for particulate matter, the norms are now 5 times more stringent, and for NOx particles, nitrous oxide particles, they are 3 times more stringent. So what is happening now is that first there is a diesel particulate filter after the gases get into the exhaust, and the diesel particulate filter removes all those particulate filters. Can you give me the key? And after that, the urea reacts with the NOx particles. So there is a urea spray in the exhaust, and then the urea reacts and it converts NOx into nitrogen, carbon dioxide and water. So that's how nitrogen oxide is broken down, and what comes out of the tailpipe is a much healthier, less polluting gas. And this car has achieved it already. So this is BS6 compliant, and this engine has also been tuned now, so it's more linear, it's more refined, and you can feel that this engine is not as laggy as the normal Compass. The normal Compass has a bit of a turbo lag below 1800-1900 RPM, but this one is more linear. Plus, this 9-speed automatic masks the lag, even if there is some, but this is definitely more linear, and the NVH control in the cabin is fantastic. So not just for off-roading, but from a convenience perspective, an automatic and a better engine. And you get this electronic parking brake as well. You get an auto start stop Plus, obviously, you can shut traction control off from here. But the quality of materials and everything inside is very nice. Everything is soft to touch, and it's really impressive how this car looks from the inside. I'm not sure about the price, but I'm pretty sure that car with this quality cannot be priced very low. So it's going to be definitely above the limited plus edition. But for someone who wants a car which can truly on and off road without compromising on comfort in terms of luxury, I think this car nails it. It's compact, it's not too big, so it's not unwieldy. असरुल हक प्राइस बताया नहीं है भाई अभी हम लोग को ये प्राइस बताएंगे जून एंड तक. जोनाथन इनग्राम ये क्या है भाई? Let's have a look at the rear seats as well. Very comfortable, good enough for two people. Third person can be squeezed in. And now since we're talking about the back bench, I'll show you a few things. So it can be tumbled down 40-60. See, and you also have this wide ass armrest, very wide, so it makes for very comfortable journeys for two people. You have these two cup holders. You also have this rear AC vent, a USB socket there, and the legroom here is pretty good. The headroom can be a bit of an issue for people who are taller than 6 feet, but for someone any shorter, it's perfectly fine. There's no problem whatsoever. But the interior quality is amazing. And I'll show you a few Easter eggs, something that not everyone would probably have observed. This is something that Jeep people keep doing to keep their fans happy. And let's have a look at this little Jeep Willys logo. And it's shown as though it's climbing up this incline, and this is just like one of those little cute things which Jeep people keep doing to make sure that their fans are amused. Another little thing is this Loch Ness monster, which is inscribed on the rear windscreen. Ruby red highlights on the compass lettering, and it's trail rated. Obviously, this is the badge that matters the most. Get power folding mirrors, but obviously you don't get wireless charging here. That's something that I would have wanted to have in this car. Yes, you're right, Saket Reddy Gopavaram. Yes, you're right. It loses out on electric seats, and yes, it loses out on lumbar support as well. But you know what? I mean, the capability of this car, it cannot be compared with the regulation cars. It's really a special car, and a lot of investment goes into making sure that it is the way it is. So I think they've focused on where they want to invest their money. Any other questions? Let me just see. Yes, Tanish, the Tesla will be very, very expensive here. Milan, but it's definitely going to be more expensive than the Limited Plus. Any other questions, guys? If you want to have any more insights on the car, if you want to ask anything further, please ask away. We'll be very happy to answer. And if there are no further questions, then I'd be very happy to show you the car from all the angles once more, and then we can drive away to our home back in Mumbai. Right now we are in Lonavala. The super detailed review, we'll try to put it up by evening today on YouTube. But in the meantime, since a lot of you complain that we are not doing English reviews anymore, if there are any questions that you want to ask, you can ask away right now, or maybe you can put your questions. Saket Reddy Gopavaram, the media drives for MG are happening for us. They're happening from the 9th, so the review should be up by 11th, I think. There are a lot of hopes from that car, but from the first impression, it seems like the quality and the finesse has taken a bit of a beating. So let's see. I would want to have this car. This is really, really amazing. This can do almost everything that you want it to do. And it's just a perfect car for a small family. Just that I don't know the price yet, and I'm sure it's going to be expensive. Alright guys, thanks a lot for joining us here in this live session, and I'll take your leave. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Anushang signing off. Drive hard, drive free.